to in 1949.
Segregated? Did you say segregated?
Segregated boot camp.
Wow. And still fought on the front line, right?
This was during World War II. When the executive order was passed, basically allowing African Americans to serve in the military. And this went back to some of our civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King that are going up to Washington, D.C. and saying, hey, we're going into war. Can we open up the opportunities for some blacks to get some of these jobs, these military jobs that are opening up from that? And I'm paraphrasing in regards to the history, but
right.
That provided the opportunity for African Americans to serve in the military. And then, in turn, these men were allowed to join the Marines. But you still have people that fought against it. So their answer to following the president's order, but still keeping that segregation, that Jim Crow mindset, was they're gonna train there at Montford Point Camp in North Carolina.
Now wait a minute, Curt. Are you saying Montford Point?
Montford.
Okay.
Point.
Okay. Montford Point. All right. Look that up, everybody. Let's look that up.
So
go ahead.
Any of your listeners, they do a Google search for Montford Point Marines. They should find the MontfordPointMarines.org. There's a national organization website, a lot of history there. Just as you mentioned with the song earlier, there's a lot of military history, and I feel these men that attended my retirement are just an important part of America's history.
Yes.
A lot of times, just like a lot of us learn about the Tuskegee Airmen through the movie, the story of the Montford Point Marines still has not been told yet. And I can't wait till it's told on the big screen.
Wow.
Tell the story of one of the congresswomen that pushed. They are also Congressional Gold Medal recipients, which is the highest civilian honor that you can receive from Congress. But one of the representatives from Congress said, those Marines are boots on the ground. And, you think about these gentlemen that, they had to fight for the right to fight, to serve this country.
Wow.
That many didn't want them in the ranks.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they still persevere. They still push through.
Yes.
So when I look at, the challenges that I have in life, and I think about what they went through to earn the title to become Marines, I can't put a price on it.
Wow.
Can't put a price on it.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I admire your military history. I admire the way you have taught me over all of these years about African Americans in the military. Because I feel a certain way. I feel a certain way.
Yes.
And, we've talked about that. But your knowledge of the history, like the Montford Point, like, oh my goodness. And then you mentioned it that the elder men that were in their military garb at your retirement, they were Tuskegee Airmen. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they also it was two distinguished groups as the African American World War II veterans that were there that attended my retirement. So the Tuskegee Airmen had a Mr. Williams that was there, and a Mr. White also that was there that attended the retirement ceremony, and they would wear their being part of the association that helps to preserve the legacy of these Marines. So Tuskegee Airmen will have a national association and chapter, so they wear the red jackets, their red tie, white shirt, and I believe they have blue slacks, and we wear a blue jacket, red tie, gray slacks for our uniform for the Montford Point Marines, along with our military colors.
Wow.
So it continues on, even though the benefit of being retired is to say I made it over the hump, and
yes,
you can kind of get your reward depending on where you're at in regards to your promotion and time served and so forth. But also too, I can also look back and say, well, I ain't got to run all the miles anymore.
Right. Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
To still wear a uniform and still continue that pride, that honor, and to help to give recognition to the ones that went before. And a lot of times we tell them, we stand on your shoulders.
Wow.
Things that they went through.
That is so honorary. I love that. I love that. I love that idea, that concept. We stand on your shoulders. We build upwards, but you set the base for all of that. So you said you were or are a Marine, right? You are a Marine forever, right?
Well, that's for the Marine Corps. It's something that's ingrained in you. Once a Marine, always a Marine. I mean, the reality in life, you got people that stray the wrong path. Things happen. They may have went to boot camp, earned the title Marine, messed up in life. There's sometimes a phrase that's used to where, hey, that's an ex-Marine. He's kind of excommunicated in a sense because of the decision making that followed down the road that were negative. Whereas, you could be a Marine, you could have served 2 years, or you could serve 26 years, and you did your job. You were honorable. You wear that title for life. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Once a Marine, always Marine.
Always a Marine.
Now, is there a division? Well, I have so many questions that I want to ask you so you can share it with the Soul Circle, but is there any sort of animosity or tension between the different military branches? I know you mentioned a Marine, and you're a very proud Marine. What about like the Army and the Navy and African Americans, that is,
right,
in those branches of government?
I will answer the question like this, and I'm gonna give a shout out to your brother, who was the first Marine in our family, Derek.
Okay.
And as you know, Derek came out the Marine Corps and he played professional soccer.
Right.
And I told him something that he didn't know why he was in the Marine Corps, that we do sports and stuff like that, right? That we compete. So each branch will have like all Marine basketball team. Like I played basketball for my base.
Did you? Okay.
We traveled to other bases, and I got some Marine shirts that I can't fit sitting up in the attic right now.
Okay.
To where we compete in that aspect, to where it's like, the Marine strong, just let the Army say the Army strong, and so forth. Right? There's a competitive nature in certain things. There's certain pride in like I work now on a Navy base.
Okay.
Oh,
interesting.
I work for a Navy admiral.
Okay.
But they know me as a Marine. So, and that's something, once again, it stays with you to where they can tell based upon how you were raised, how you carry yourself, how you behave.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that's there. There's always a degree of competition. There's, that little rivalry, but when it come time for us to go to battle and us to work together,
it's done.
We gotta put that aside.
Yes.
Handle business.
Okay.
Gotta handle business.
That is very, very interesting. So you just mentioned to go to battle. Have you ever had the occasion of going to battle?
My experience, and I thank God, my experience in regards to combat has not been up front kicking down doors, taking name. I've been in the area of operation for support for Iraq and Afghanistan.
Wow.
At that time, it was the latter part of my career, so I was a senior personnel providing the encrypted communication equipment and so forth that's needed for those operations.
Okay.
So with that also, like for example, I think not too long ago in the news they had an issue in Jordan where some of our service members were attacked. We did training evolutions in Jordan where, as a platoon sergeant for my team, I've got to kind of make sure the security is the way it should be as we move to and from different training areas, along with just the overall responsibility. That,
okay.
If you're in charge, you got to be able to step up and, I say that work now, even at my Navy base, somebody has to have a sense of pride that
Wow.
we're willing to step out and protect the lives that are standing behind us.
Okay. Well,
It's part of it.
That's a big part, because I can't say it would be me. But as I said in the beginning, I admire all of the history that you shared with me about the Marines and just being in the military and so forth. One thing that I want for you to share that you shared with me was the area you mentioned that you live in the Virginia Beach area. Can you talk about the area? I know the name, it's SeaTac. But can you talk about that area? Is that like a military area or no?
Well,
It's not?
It is.
It is.
A military area.
Okay.
In fact, derived from sea attack, and it was shortened out of just how can I say it? Not bad grammar, but after a while you come up with a slang, and
right.
It became SeaTac community.
Mm-hmm.
If your listeners go to I believe YouTube, and they did a search for SeaTac, SeaTack, all one word.
Okay.
Congressman Scott Ridgel.
Mm-hmm.
They will see where that congressman read into the books, based upon documentation, that SeaTac community was written into the books as the oldest African American community.
Are you serious?
Right. That's why I said go to YouTube. Nah, just kidding.
Wow.
Seriously, if you go to YouTube, you will be able to see that that was read into in Congress. He went ahead and put that out there in regards to SeaTac community, and there is what you call it. So there's a number. They have the different acts that of bills and acts and so forth that are passed in Congress. Right. There's a number associated with that that talks about the history of SeaTac. Goes back to the Caribbean pirates. And when you look at the Hampton Roads area in Williamsburg and the first slave ship, actually touching land over by the Hampton area, Hampton, Virginia area. I mean, there's a lot of history within this area itself.
Wow.
And when it comes to present-day military, you have the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Army, you have the Air Force, Coast Guard. You have a little bit of everything over here in this area. So there's a lot of military influence within the Hampton Roads area. This is the largest naval base on the East Coast in regards to the ships and the carriers that transit the Atlantic to go out and protect our waters and our allies.
Wow. Oh my goodness. If you don't know, because I love you, I love you, but I love the way you know history. I so am enthralled with the way you know about the history of the Montfort Point Marines and, the whole SeaTac and just all of that history is so very important to me because we need to know, people need to know that history. I do appreciate you coming on and talking with the Soul Circle listeners and letting them know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to leave the listeners with in terms of Veterans Day and the military and the African American in the military?
Well, there's, as you said, there's so much to be said.
Right.
Definitely, I know growing up in Baltimore, I got to give Baltimore a little shout out.
Yay!
You can have, and it doesn't matter, you could be down south, wherever you are. I've seen, and I did recruiting in Richmond, Virginia, right?
Right.
You have people in different social walks of life that may have a stigmatism about the military.
Right.
Because of something that maybe a person I've seen an individual had a bad experience because of somebody that they work for. We deal with that, I think, in the civilian sector also. So now they take that stigmatism and they take it